Welcome to episode 2 of the Think Bigger podcast. What's the point? What is my point? What is your point? What is the point of what we do? All right, let's get straight into it. I want to know, how many of us actually take the time to think about the point and purpose of what we do and what we say? It could be an interaction with your friends. It could be interactions with your loved ones, your spouse, your children, okay? Anything. It doesn't matter what it is, a hobby, your lifestyle, your job, the car that you drive. For all of my car heads, the build that you do. For those of you, let's talk about that real quick. For those of you that don't know, I tend to come from a world that's very much automotive centered. Okay. I mean, I have various parts of my life, but the automotive culture is the predominant, most important part of my life outside of personal and family. And it's a very big part of who I am. So, a lot of the followers, a lot of the fans, a lot of the friends I've made over the years, a lot of the people listening right now come from an automotive background, and that's how they know of me. So, with that being said, there are going to be references to automotive things all the time because there's a lot of people listening. And even if you aren't a car person per se, it's something that you're going to be able to relate to on a certain level, okay? But let's talk about everything from the gym, family, and life, okay? The point. What is the point? People ask me all the time, how do I do what you do? How do I accomplish what you've accomplished? I don't want to answer any of those questions, okay? Like I mentioned before, and I will always say, the Think Bigger project and the Think Bigger podcast is not here to tell you it's not here to tell you what to think, okay? How to think is what we're about. I'm not here to tell people what to think. I'm here to tell people how to think. How we think is the source of everything because how we think leads to how we act, okay? So, with that being said, let's talk about the point, the purpose, right? When you wake up in the morning, is this going to sound kind of dramatic already? But this is real though. When you wake up in the morning, what is the point? What are you about to do? Are you about to hop up real quick, take a shower, get ready to go to work? Okay, cool. Do you have a loved one next to you? Okay. Do you have children that you check on, or are they up? Or did your children run in your room to wake you up? What is it? What's going on? Okay. What is the point of what you're about to do that day? It starts right there. You wake up with purpose. Now, I know life is busy. We all don't get enough sleep, whether because we have a lot to do. Some of us stared at our phones pretty late into the night, and you just wake up exhausted. Now, that's a whole separate issue about that, but it's still relevant. You still have to wake up. Thank God you woke up and you have a purpose, a point for that day. What is it? Do you know what it is? If you are listening right now and you immediately had an answer of what your purpose and your point was, let me know what it is. Type it out, comment it. Wherever you're listening to this, comment. You can DM me on Instagram. I will answer. I will read it. I will answer it. Okay. It doesn't matter where you're hearing this, YouTube, any of the other places, comment. If you had something that came to your mind instantly, let me know what it is. Now, if you didn't, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I genuinely believe that the majority of people didn't necessarily have anything come to mind. Okay. So let's talk about that. Whatever we do has to have a point. When someone says, how do I do what you do? I don't want you to want to do what I do or what anyone else does. It is your life, it is your world, it is your existence, it is your family, it is your car, it is your workout, it is all that kind of stuff, right? We're all here to motivate each other and help each other. But that question, how do I do what you've done? Is a very gray question to me. It's dangerous. I don't want people to aspire to be another person or to do what another person has done. I genuinely believe that we should aspire to be ourselves take motivation and inspiration from others, but we should aspire to do the greatest that we can do. Okay, there are differences. It's not a level playing field. Okay, philosophically, it's a level playing field, but in the real world, there are people who have more money, more resources. There are people who have more talent. There are people who have a lot more than other people do. It's sort of a sensitive subject. Everyone wants to believe that it's equal across the board, okay? If you love playing basketball and you grow up, your father maybe and or your mother were both athletes or just, you know, taller people. Are you telling me that a dude who's 5'2" has the same level playing field as a dude with equivalent, physiques, equivalent, etc., except that one is 6'6" and one is 5'2"? No. Not to say that the person who's shorter can accomplish the same thing athletically. That's in an ideal setting they can, but it's not level. It's not even, okay? One person is going to have to work harder, okay? If somebody has, I don't know, let's use an extreme example. Let's say parents that are wealthy and they are not just wealthy, but they're supportive. Oh, okay, you want to be an artist? You want to be a singer? You want to be a, anything. Okay, you want to go to school? You want to just take off from college or whatever, and you want to pursue that? All right, go ahead. We will support you both, you know, emotionally and financially. Are the people who don't have any financial backing, are the people who have to work a job to save up for maybe voice lessons, music lessons, studio time, are they going to have it as easy or the same playing field as the person who can just dedicate 24 hours a day to learning and studying and studio time and or whatever, right? No. I don't care what anybody says. The answer is no. It is not even. But that's not what it's about. What it's about is the work that becomes necessary. Okay, hard work beats talent all the time. Okay, some of the most talented people in the world unfortunately end up developing a bad work ethic because they are so good at whatever it is that they like to do or are doing that they don't really have to sharpen their skill set, right? Because they're so good at it. Let's say they're into a sport that involves jumping. Don't tell me that there are people that everyone on planet Earth can jump the same way. That's just not how that works. There are people who can jump through the roof, right? And then there are people who can't. Now, what if the person who can jump through the roof is 5'2" and the person who can't is 6'6"? Now we're starting to get it with the way our minds work, we're starting to come out with some type of equalization here, right? All right, but what if the person who's 6'6" can jump, has a 42-inch vertical, and the person who's 5'2" doesn't, has like a 1-inch vertical? Are we equal right now? Absolutely not. Okay. So what I'm saying here is that these are not deterrents. This shouldn't make you be like, "Oh, well, I don't have it as good as some other people." But the point is in life, it's not going to be that way. It is not an equal playing field. We are not all equal. No, you do not deserve to get a trophy for trying. There's no participation trophies in life, okay? There are people who are going to have it better and do better than another person. But why do they do better? Is it really going to just be, oh, well, they're more talented than me. They have more money. I'm going to give up? No, that just means you have to work harder. You have to find what you're good at. You could develop a network, a team, even, and you move forward. But all of these things come from purpose. What is the point of what I'm doing? If I want to be an athlete, right? That means you have a point, a purpose, a goal, and you aim towards it and you start working at it. If I ask somebody, what do you want to be? I want to be a surgeon. I want to help people. That means what? If you have your eye on that, you're going to go, you're going to do your undergrad, you're going to take classes, then you're going to apply, you're going to go to medical school, you're going to become a doctor, and then you're going to specialize in a certain kind of surgery. Okay? That is the answer. But if you ask somebody, what do you want to be when you grow up, right? Or you're grown now, what are you doing? What do you want to do? What are you doing? I I don't know. I mean, It's a real issue. Think about it. Some of you guys are reflecting on it right now. Okay. And I'm not, this is not to poke fun, right? If you're starting to feel some way about this, then you've gotta be able to just sit back and be like, all right, let me listen. Let me understand that there is an important reality to knowing the purpose. Okay. It's redundant, but yet you ask somebody, what is the purpose of you going to work this morning? What is the answer? What is the answer? I'm thinking that a lot of you will be like, well, I have to make money. Okay, cool. Definitely. Definitely we have to pay bills, right? All right. Is there anything more profound than that? Is your job a stepping stone to climbing the corporate ladder there? Are you in this job just to pay your way for college? Are you in this job just in the meantime while waiting for an opening at a different place or in a different field that you've been applying for? Right? Those are answers. The purpose. What is the point of what you are doing? For my car people, right? If I looked you in the eyes at the next event that I host or MC or I'm judging at, for those of you that don't know who I am, in the automotive world, I host events, I judge car shows all across the globe, and I'm able to interact with people from London, France, Belgium, Germany, Indonesia. I've been to the East Coast dozens of times. I'm going in 2019. I'm going to be in, the tri-state area in Philadelphia two different times in the year. I'm going to be in the South. I'm going to be in Atlanta. I'm going to be in Miami, Orlando. I'll be up in Ohio. I'll be in Chicago, Seattle, Portland, all over. And in the realm of the automotive community, when you ask somebody, what is the point of you building this car or you modifying this car? It's a very interesting thing to experience that slight, sometimes not so slight pause or hesitation in their response, not just verbally, but in their eyes. Because some of you will be like, well, that's just what we do. Okay. Is your point to win the car show, right? Is your point to beat someone at the track at a time attack event and podium? Is your point to win your bracket in drag racing? Okay. What is the point of what you do, right? Do you know the answer to that? What is the point of you going to this job you have? What is the point of you going to the gym? Let's talk about that. Across the board, many, if not all of us, are working on our health. We go to the gym to work out. So let me ask you a question. What is the point of you going to the gym? What is the answer? How about this? More specifically, today, as you listen to this, whether you already went, you're going to go, or you're at the gym right now, for all of my peeps that work out, listen, what was or is the point of your workout today? Today's leg day, today's chest day. All right. So, what is the point of chest day? You need to know and be aware. It seems obvious. I'm going to work out my chest. I'm going to go squat all the things. I'm going to go curl till my arms pop. Okay, but what is the point? Are you trying to bodybuild? Meaning physically build your muscles and get muscular hypertrophy and growth and have this certain look? Are you trying to recover from or get back from an injury? So your workout is your self-taught rehabilitation, or maybe taught to you from a therapist, physical therapist, occupational therapist, a personal trainer. Those are answers, not I'm going to the gym to work out. That's not an answer. Okay. Think about what is being presented right now. We are talking about us having a focus and being aware of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So, what is the point of the car build? If your goal is to win a car show, you need to man up and say that. There seems to be this taboo in the community. People don't really want to say, I want to win car shows. If that's what you're trying to do, you need to say it, embrace it, and then once you've embraced it, you can work towards it. Okay? If your goal is to build a track car and beat everyone, right? If that's really what it is inside of you, if that's what's burning, you want to win and podium at the track, then say it to yourself, say it out loud, own it, and then you can work specifically to that goal, because people are out here, no one's really calling it out like that, right? If your goal at the gym is, I want to be stronger than all of my friends, or I want to be more buff, say it, own it, and then do what you need to do to accomplish that. Because what's happening is people are sort of just floating along, right? Now, that floating along can be consistent. You can consistently go to the gym. You can consistently do X, Y, and Z, okay? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're progressing in any grand fashion towards the goal, the point, towards the purpose. What is the point? Once you can call yourself on the point of it all, then you can progress towards it. And if you don't know, that's a whole different type of conversation that you need to have. You need to sit down and figure it out. Figuring out isn't going to happen right now. It's not going to be some sort of instantaneous revelation that you have. But once again, if you own to the point, if you own up that you don't know what your purpose is right now, that's already a major step forward. If you're willing to admit to yourself, I don't know, I kind of just go to the gym. I just need to go get exercise. I know it's good for me. I just want to go. I don't really, I'm not bodybuilding. I'm not trying to compete in the CrossFit games. I don't know. I don't know. That's really the majority of people. And it's okay, but you have to be an adult and admit that, right? If you if you just go to car events because it's fun and you want to be with your friends, you want to drive the car to the best of your ability, you don't care about being on the podium, you don't care about winning a car show, right? If you just want to go, you like the vibe, you like the music, the models, you like to just check out other people's car builds. If that's really what it is, you need to be able to say that, and then you can be at peace with it, right? But you guys, I judge and host and MC events all over. I meet enthusiasts of all ages, okay, of all car types, anything within the import world, right? American muscle cars, trucks, off road. I mean, anything and everything. I have seen it, I have judged it, I have communicated with these people. And you know what? There are a whole lot of people that get extremely salty when they don't win, but they swear that it's not about winning. There's a whole lot of people that get really, really pissed off when they don't win at all. How about this more specifically? There are people who get really pissed off when they don't win first place or even third place, but maybe when it's another car or another build, and they're like, "How did that one beat me?" If you truly were not there for the quote unquote just fun of it, you were there in a competitive nature, then it's understandable. But people swear they're not. You got to own up. Okay, we're adults, guys. We're adults. And if you're 12 years old listening to this, 10 years old, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing for you. You can begin the process right now of owning up to what you're trying to do. Okay, you have to be a self-aware person. All right. If you want to beat someone at the track, you build a car to beat people at the track. If you want to show car and you want to win car shows, own it, accept it, and build a car that will beat other cars. But you can't toe the line. You can't go to the gym. Consistency is important, right? You go to the gym, you get your push-ups in, you get your chest day, arm day, leg day, back day. You play basketball, you hit the elliptical, whatever you do, right? You can do that, and it's great. It's great for your body, your circulation, and all that kind of stuff. But if we're talking about how you're like, how come I can't run a better mile? How come I can't do more pull-ups than some person on social media that can do a bazillion pull-ups? How come I can't do that? Are you training for that purpose? And the reason why you aren't is because you haven't owned it. Own it. If you want to do, I don't know, 100 consecutive clap push-ups, you're not going to be able to do that by just doing some regular stuff. You're going to have to develop a regimen that gets you there, right? Is what I'm saying really that hard to understand? But here's the thing, understanding it is one thing. We're intelligent people. We're able to understand what we experience around us, but applying it is a whole different thing. And I believe that all starts in the way that you think and embracing the point. What is the point of what you are doing? If you are trying to lose fat weight, because losing weight, as in the number on the scale, that's an entirely different thing than losing fat. And this subject is a very near and dear one to me, and it's also a very sensitive one for me because we were talking about level playing fields, and some people have a height and I don't know, genetics and money, but it's not even, right? Some people are shorter, can't jump as high like we talked about, but it also goes for genetics. For people that try to act like metabolism and genetics aren't that big of a factor, that's a foolish thing. It's a very real factor. Now, I'm not saying that you should allow that to be a deterrent. Well, I don't have an Olympian's genetics or body type, so I'm not going to be able to do that. No, no, no. That's not what we're saying. But there are people who can eat a series of things and they can't put on a pound, and there are people that, you just think about eating a cupcake and you already put on a pound. It's just the way it works, and it's a real thing. And it's not an excuse, but it is reality. So if you're trying to lose weight, guys, and we all are, right? There's many people out here, as Americans especially, but in the world, the people are becoming less and less healthy and overweight, and you have everything from the whole processed food thing and soda and dairy and meat, and however you look at it, however you decide to eat. Once again, if the goal is to lose fat weight, you have to embrace that and go about it in an organized fashion. If the goal is to build muscle and be a big person, muscular, then there's a specific way to go about it. If the goal is to run long distance, track and field, marathons, you're not going to go and just try to bench 3 plates every day to run faster. Okay? There is a specific methodology that you can use to get to a point. How can you get to that point if you don't know what that point is? Right? Tell me, comment. I want to know if you understand what I'm saying. I want to know if you're just like, dude, this dude is saying the most ridiculously obvious thing. I don't even understand what we're talking about. Okay, good for you. I really mean that. If all of this seems so ridiculously obvious and you're just like, duh, right? Duh. I don't know. Do people still say duh? I presume some people probably do, but there you go. If you're just like, I'm listening to this and yeah, I don't really understand how this is not even something that everyone has and does. But you know what? My experience as a human being in life, both observationally and personally, it's not. It's not common. People don't know what they're doing or why they're doing it. Okay? If you go to work and the answer, when I say, why are you getting up today? If the answer immediately that popped into your mind was so that I can provide for my spouse and my children or child, okay, that, my friends, is a powerful and important purpose. Okay. But let's say you're not married. Let's say you don't have children. Was your answer, I'm getting up so that I can be the best person I can be today? Hmm, sounds kind of cheesy, right? But forget if it sounds cheesy. Was that your answer? I don't think it was. Just be honest. Right? There are very, very, very few people that hop out of bed like with some gusto. You know what I'm saying? The alarm goes off, they hop out and they're like, I'm ready to, you can use carpe diem, seize the day. Not too many people are doing that. And the people who are doing that because they wake up and know that that day is a new day to go what? Towards a goal, right? I'm excited. Today is a new day. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. They got this list, whether in their head, on the notes on their phone, whatever, right? You're not going to wake up excited to do nothing. It sounds good. I don't have to work today and type nothing. That's not what I'm talking about. Not your day off and you get to sleep in, then you get to wake up and say, I don't have to work today. That's not the type of thing that is being talked about right now. I'm talking about if you don't have a purpose, if you don't have a little one, a child to provide for, if you don't have a spouse, if you don't have any type of grand idea of who you want to become, what you're trying to accomplish, how are you going to wake up excited? Why would you wake up excited? You're tired. Your heart's tired. Your mind's tired because you don't know. And that's okay. That's the majority of people. This newer generation, whether you call them Z, X, Y, millennials, whatever term is being used for various generations. I don't care. I'm talking about, it's just harder and harder for people, right? Social media, especially for these kids that are staring at their phones all day long, they're just bombarded with, women are bombarded with what they're supposed to look like, and girls are more and more insecure from a younger age because they don't have the perfect skin tone or lips or eyes or cheekbone structure. They don't have the perfect waist or hips or butt and all that nonsense, right? So you're just like, they end up being obsessed with what they look like because they feel inadequate. Okay. If they were aware of what they are, who they are, what they're worth, and what they're going to accomplish, all of that aesthetic shell, it would be less important. Okay. Men are bombarded with these pages that just second after second, just millisecond after millisecond, are telling you what. Let's say you follow a bunch of weight training and weightlifting videos, right? You're trying to be like that, so let's talk about those guys. You're looking at all these pictures of these dudes with crazy physiques, right? They're just cut crazy. They're doing 100 consecutive pull-ups. I'm not talking about kipping pull-ups. I'm not talking about that. We'll talk about that another time. But I'm talking about, they're doing, double clap push-ups, explosive stuff, and you're just like, I want to do that. Like, how come I can't do that? And so you start trying to do that, whether it's, enhancements, because that's a real thing. Let's embrace that. People are enhancing themselves, whether it be steroids or other types of things. That's a real thing. Anyone who has played professional upper level sports realizes that's a very normal thing. And for people, maybe younger people, they don't know that per se. So they're looking at people do things that those people might have an amazing genetic makeup, plus they work hard, and then if you add performance enhancing drugs, steroids, etc., that is not an attainable goal for another person. Your physique may not ever get to that point without you just probably destroying yourself in the long term, your liver, and all the types of side effects of steroids. I've been around professional athletes, D1 guys that play college. Some of them are, in the league right now. I know dudes that CrossFit, and are just monsters. Okay, one arm pull ups and explosive wind sprints in a field with a parachute, like strapped to them, and just crazy stuff, amazing stuff, right? I know them personally. I can only speak about the people I know personally, but if you're just staring at pages all day long that show thousands of dudes that have achieved some type of physical, aesthetic physique or muscular weight movement goal, it's hard because you're like, I want to keep up with that. And if you don't know how to pick your personal goal and move towards it and embrace that you're not going to move at the pace of the internet, if you don't do that, it is highly, highly dangerous, because then you're going to end up to keep up, to quote unquote keep up with these other people. You're going to do what you need to do, and that's going to end up being something that you probably would never have done before. And in a bad way. I'm not talking about pushing yourself to get one more rep or any of those things, okay? In the automotive world, it's no different. Think about it. You follow Instagram pages and, I don't know, YouTube channels that have dudes getting a new car and modifying a new car, and within like 10 videos, 5 videos, once a week or something, in 5 weeks, they got a new motor and a turbo and air suspension and a muffler and fabrication, and they all put it together. You guys, it's not the same thing for everyone. You don't know their financial situation. You don't know what they do or how they do it. And so therefore you're comparing yourself to what? It's not an equal playing field. You cannot aspire to do what another person's doing, okay? You've got to do what you want to do, right? You modify your build, your car, the way you want to. You have a goal and an aspiration. This is if you have embraced what your goal and aspiration is, what the point and the purpose is, right? You embrace it, you develop it, you embrace it, and then you go for it. When you go for it, don't let the world around you distract you from it. It doesn't matter how many people finished their car build before you and went to the track or went to a show or whatever before you. You have an idea of what you want to build, the parts you're going to use. You have this vision and this goal in your head of your career, right? Or how much money you're going to make, or your physique, your weight loss journey, or your car build, or your whatever, right? You have your eye on the prize and you go for it. And if it takes you longer than what the internet tells you, so what? If it takes you longer to lose that 30 pounds or 7 pounds that you're trying to lose than it does to the person who's like, oh, I did this crazy detox, da da da, da, and I lost that in one day. Man, it's not the same for everyone. Don't worry about that. But how can you do that if you haven't sat there and looked within yourself and realized that you don't really know why you do what you do? Why do you do what you do? What is the point? Think about it, guys. Think about it. Why do we go to this place? Why do we visit this friend? Why do we associate ourselves with this group? Why do we have this job? What is the point? Okay? Because we're floating. A lot of people are just moving along through life and they don't have a purpose. Okay? People mistake having a job with fulfilling their purpose. People mistake a lot of things with their purpose, okay? Can get start to get real deep real fast. And it doesn't have to, but there's a real thing going on here with your purpose, right? Starts to get kind of spiritual. Some people don't believe in that. Okay, you don't have to believe in it, but you do believe in your purpose, right? What is the point of you being here? What is the point of what you're doing? It's not just so that I can fit into this, you know, this dress, or I can, put on this extra medium shirt and look swole, right? I mean, if that's what it is for you, own it, right? But do you know why? Do you know why you just bought another 2 or 3 or 10 pairs of kicks? Right? Is it so that you can open your closet and just be excited that you had something that you didn't have when you were a kid? Or are you like low key arranging your shoe boxes so that they can be in the background of a picture so you can floss on the gram? Are you collecting wheels, my car heads from the 90s, or whatever era or style of wheels that you always wanted? Is it so that you can look at them and be like, man, when I was, you know, I don't know. I just when I was a kid, I wanted those, and now I have them. Or is it so that you can like put them all together and stack them up on some boxes and post? Is it for attention? Is it? Man, if it is, own that. Be a man and own that, right? Ladies, if you are in the gym, right, and you are out there trying to kill it so that you have this crazy hip to booty ratio, you know what I'm saying? And you're out there in a sports bra and some volleyball shorts at the gym and you're doing it. If you're going there to try to hook a man or to get some attention, just own that, girl. Own it, right? Don't try to be out there. I want to be able to see my obliques when I twist. Shut up. Okay, just own that, right? I respect that. If you're like, I'm out here trying to get the best looking dude in my eyes to come through and be like, what's up, and there it is, it worked. If that's the goal, own it, right? But if you're out there really trying to work on your health and like legitimately work on the booty, you're doing the squats and you're doing your deadlifts and you're doing what I'm saying, all the things you need to do. If you're out there to work out, then work out, right? And own that, right? Which many of you do, right? But if you're out there just trying to bait somebody or get a couple of eyeballs or see if you still quote unquote got it, you know what I'm saying, then own that too. Just own it. Whatever we do in this world, we have to own it. You have to admit it and own up to it. And let's say that you end up thinking about it and you don't like the reason why you're doing something. That's a real thing too. This isn't something where you just have to own something and then it's done. What if you own up to it, you realize why you do what you do, and then you realize I don't like that. I'm not trying to be a narcissist. I'm not trying to be shallow. Maybe I shouldn't, be doing X, Y, or Z in the way that I'm doing it. Only when you start to try to really, really embrace what your purpose and goal is, the process of thinking about that, of really thinking about it, that's going to lead you in a positive direction. That's what growth is all about. We don't just get it. We don't just achieve it. It's not a revelation. You don't just get there and then you're done. It's not the way it works. It is a process. We all have life and circumstances, and there are factors that are going to happen to each and every one of us. And we're going to adapt and we're going to take the hit. Sometimes it's going to hit us way harder and we're going to be down. But you get back up. And if your goal is to make sure you have enough money to feed your baby, right? It doesn't matter what life does to you. It doesn't matter what people do to you. You are going to do what you need to do so that you can take care of your child or children or spouse, right? But you need to own that goal, right? There's a lot of people in a lot of relationships. People are getting cheated on. People are, why? Because their goal, their purpose, it's not about their spouse or their lady or their man. And maybe it never was. Okay? If you're just about yourself, own that. Own that shit. Be an adult and own it. And there are people who are just about themselves and they have families. They have friends. Anyone listening right now, every single person listening right now, can you think of a friend that you know, one of your homies, one of your friends, and you know that they're pretty much just like kind of low key, really just about themselves? Not even low key, high key about themselves. I know every single one of you is thinking about somebody right now. If you don't call them, if you don't go see them, are they going to call you? Are they going to go see you? Just think about it for a second. Is anyone right here thinking about somebody that is just kind of oddly difficult to get a hold of when you need a favor? Think about it. I know that you guys can think of someone or maybe more than one person. Is there always a friend that they're there to ask you, hey man, could you help me do something real quick? I don't know, move, work on this car, blah blah, anything, right? Okay, cool. But if you think about it right now, is it oddly difficult to get a hold of them when you need something? I know some of you are nodding right now. I know you are. It's the reality. That person is about themselves. And they're probably perfectly fine with that. And then you're over there trying to just, deflect it. You're not you're not really embracing the fact that that person doesn't really care that much. Whether that's platonic, non-platonic, it doesn't matter. Well, embrace it. What is their point? Their point isn't to be a good friend to you. That's for damn sure. Actions speak louder than words. What is your point? Now, hold on. If your purpose, if your point is, well, you know what? I'm not going to concern myself with the way other people or this person acts. I'm going to just be the best person that I can be. Okay. If that's what it is, I 1,000,000% respect that. You know who you are, how you feel, how you act, how you think, and you're going to stay true to that regardless. I respect that. But that isn't most people. Okay? We have to work to get to that point. So, if you're thinking about somebody right now, ask yourself, right? It's a new year. I don't care if it's cheesy. I don't care if it's cliche for the whole New Year's resolution thing. Whether it's a new day, a new week, a new month, or a new year, there's never a wrong time to make a change. So, if when you listen to these words, if when you listen to this, it makes you realize that you need to do some reflecting, some self reflecting to decide what your goal is. What is the point of what you do? What is the point of what you do? Okay? What is the point of what you say? When you speak, are you just saying shit to people? Are you there to make them laugh? Are you the person they turn to for advice? Do you just talk? When you go hang out with people, what is the point of you hanging out with them? Is it for entertainment? Is it for companionship? Are you lonely? You have to do some self reflecting and own it, right? Own it. Own it. Begin the process of owning it. What is the point of what you do? What is the point of anything that we do, anything that we say, right? When you open your mouth, Do you believe that people want to listen? Or do you think that you're one of those people that just, you kind of just talk too damn much? Right? The internet makes a lot of people feel real comfortable typing out words that would never come out of their mouth. Okay. So what's their goal? Their goal is to troll people. Their goal is to be salty and jealous. And what is your goal? Is your purpose to be mad at them? Nah, man. You got to just deflect that and keep it pushing. There's an unlimited amount of applications to this. But whether you want to go super deep, what is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of my life? Or just something, narrow it down, keep it simple, start in one place. What is the point when I go to the gym? And once you start to acknowledge and embrace that, you can move in a specific direction. You can formulate a plan to get to the goal that you have embraced, or you'll realize that that's not what you're trying to do, or you're not moving in the right direction, and you can adjust accordingly. That's what life is about. Life is about adjustment. We are going to deal with people and things and circumstances, and you have to be able to duck and bob and weave and or even if they connect, you take a hit or two or three or 10 and you adjust and you grow. But that starts with being an adult and being able to say, what is the point of what I'm doing? Do you agree with that? Do you disagree with that? I think it's difficult for someone to disagree with that, but if you do, tell me. Tell me. I want to understand what your experience and your perspective have led you to come up with something that just, you just like, no, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. But if you do agree or if you don't, let me know, communicate, let's talk about it, okay? This is all about the way we think. Changing the way we think is vital, right? The way we think is the most obvious yet overlooked part of life that we need to work on, okay? You change the way you think, you change the way you act, you change the way you live. It's that simple. Profound, not profound. It's obvious, not obvious. It doesn't matter. You change the way you think, then you'll change the way you act, and you'll change the way you live. Okay? What is the point of what you do? What is your purpose? What is the purpose? Right? Ask yourself that. If you don't know, embrace that you don't know and start working on embracing what it is that you're going to work on, and then you can get there. If you don't know where you're trying to go, how are you going to get there? Right? Think big, think bigger podcast. I love and appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time.